Welcome and thank you for tuning in to SM Enlightenment Radio or TV or listening to the Two Healthy Chicks podcast. I'm Ayana.
And I'm Jenny.
And we are two healthy chicks providing simple life hacks on this journey to healthy living. All right, Jenny, it's been a little while, but what's in your mug?
Yes, so I'm like halfway down my glass already, but I am drinking, oh my gosh, the pink lemonade Intercalm. So it's so good. I love finishing my day with this.
Yeah, I need to be calm. I needed to be a little hype. So I did seltzer with the mango peach fizz.
Ooh, nice. Nothing says summer like mango peach. Oh.
You know, I'm on the West Coast, so, I'm 3 hours behind, so I still have some time.
Yeah, you can do fizz. I'm like winding down with the ashwagandha. You're still hyping up with the fizz. So
I'm trying to hype it up. Exactly. Yep.
Yes. And speaking of Southern California, you have the sun, and that is perfection going into what we are talking about tonight. We are talking about, I know, look at that, summer skin, everything related to summer skin. So this is going to be a don't miss episode. So you are definitely going to want to hear about all things summer skin, including things that cause skin damage.
Yep, how to protect the skin. And in that, we'll talk about the many, many misconceptions.
Yep, and meaning like the availability of information that you have.
Melanated skin and whether or not we need sunscreen.
And my favorite, pampering and prepping the skin for sun exposure. So definitely a lot to cover here. And we have a special thing tonight.
We do. We have a very special guest. I mean, all of our guests are special, but maybe she's probably going to kill me when she comes on, but maybe she's a little extra special. We'll just leave it at that.
You're going to get yourself in trouble with all kinds of people.
Listen, that's what I do. I mean, I think we know that by now.
Yes, we
do. Sharon Davila has been in the healthcare industry for over 25 years. She began her career working for the New York City Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, and later became a bedside registered nurse in several specialties. Later in her career, Sharon entered the world of infection prevention, working with several acute and subacute facilities across the U.S. Throughout the COVID-19 epidemic, she successfully collaborated with the CDC and local health departments to place preventative processes and procedures to keep COVID and non-COVID patients safe. She loves to travel with her adorable Maltese, Callie, and sometimes, these are her words, her beloved husband and 3 children. I would love to extend a very warm welcome to none other than my sister, my eldest, because I dare not say oldest, sister, Sharon Davila.
Welcome. Yay.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, and yourself. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes. And I'm just the firstborn sister. I'm neither eldest nor oldest.
There you go. I like that.
There was no way that I actually could have said that, and it would have been okay. So I might as well just jump over in.
Look at this face.
It's going to be a very interesting episode.
You're going to see fun.
All this dynamic, Jenny.
Can we scrap the skin conversation? Just go straight into
no, we cannot.
Okay, that'll be another episode. Maybe I'll weave it in there.
I mean, I could do anything because she thinks that I only can speak about medical related topics.
That's why she's here.
Yeah, but there's a lot of stuff I can do. Yes.
Oh, this is good. All right, maybe we'll stick on with the skin tonight, but we'll talk around to that. Or
we don't have to.
Yes, we are. I love this.
All right, so before we dive in, tell us, Sharon, how did you get, because everything that I talked about doesn't necessarily relate directly to skin and summer skin. How did you get involved or interested in skin?
Well, being a nurse for over 20 years, I've had to deal with a lot of patients. And we already know the integumentary system, which is your skin, is our largest organ and the biggest, the best barrier to infections, diseases, so many other things, physical damage, UV light. And I took pride in taking care of our patient's skin. So unfortunately, um, nursing today, because of everything that we have to do, we don't take the time that we really need to take care of a patient's skin. So I took pride in that. And then on top of that, during my nursing career, I was diagnosed with dyshydrotic eczema. And, some people would say, oh, what's the big deal about that? But because I was so, there's a little vanity in all of us women.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, my flare-ups would actually be during the summertime when I want to show my legs. And it's on my legs and my feet. It really doesn't happen too much on my hands, but there are these little like blisters that I would get, and sometimes a rash forms with it. And it would actually, like I said, occur during the summertime. If it happened during the winter, it wouldn't be so bad, but
right.
summer when I'm going to show
When you
skin.
wanna show up.
So, I would cry sometimes, but, crying is not going to do anything. I had to learn more about my my condition and worked closely with my dermatologist, which took me a long time to find, because you could be board certified and everything, but and this is something we'll talk about later. Unfortunately, how can I say, the dermatologist has to actually be invested in you. I mean, they're supposed to all be and know their be an expert in this. But unfortunately, a lot of them are dismissive about some of your concerns, especially when you're of the African American descent. So therefore, got frustrating. And like I said, I had to actually find a dermatologist that understood.
Right.
I don't have an African American dermatologist. She's actually Asian, but she does understand. And she's given me so much knowledge and information that I do need, especially since I moved out here to LA. And like I said, we'll discuss some more why LA compared to New York is a difference in how you take care of your skin.
And I think that's so interesting too, because that's the same thing with Ayana and I, as far as our personal experiences, our own personal struggles led us to deeper research, led us to questioning things, led us to really finding better doctors and understanding things more. And from that, have learned a lot and want to share with others. So I love that. So thank you for being willing to come on and share your personal experiences. I'm sorry that you've had to go through that, but I'm grateful for what that has brought for you to be able to help other people and for you to be able to come on and share with our audience. So thank you.
Yeah, this is why I love her sometimes, but So you already jumped into some of it, but let's dive a little bit deeper into the first part of this, which is things that cause skin damage. So talk to us more about some of those effects when we're dealing with the summer, so to speak, and summer skin, etc.
So, okay, so we are dealing with what we call, so some of the things, like I said, chemicals, physical damage, whether it's some type of trauma, diseases. And what we're going to focus on is UV rays today, and the reason why we're focusing on that is because everyone is out for the summer and having fun,
Yep.
and we're not protecting our skin the way we really need to. And geography has a lot to do with this issue. So for example, where you live, we're living in LA. LA is filled with beaches. Miami is another place filled with beaches. But then you have somewhere like Atlanta. You don't really have beach life there. New York, somewhat, but that's not what we focus on in New York for the most part, because the Atlantic is just so dirty. But and the beaches are not the best. But I mean, I can say that I'm a New Yorker originally. But
funny, I had that same conversation with someone on the beach today, so that's
but where the beach life really is are states, like Florida and California. So So we have two types of aging to the skin. Extrinsic is what accounts for 80% of skin aging. So what is contributable? What contributes to intrinsic aging? So you have UV rays. Okay, that is one big thing. Pollution. Okay, diet. A lot of these things you can control. Okay, a lot of these things are controlled. And then intrinsic aging, which accounts for about 20% of skin aging, are, factors such as things you really can't control, like it's just genetically determined. If you have a history, your parents have a history or a family have a history of bad skin, possibly, that could be a cause, skin cancer or even stress. I mean, can we control stress? Technically, yes, but sometimes it's hard, just depending on what is going on in your life. Okay, so going back to the extrinsic aging portion of it, which is the bulk of our discussion of the UV rays. Okay, we have UVA, UVB, and UVC. Okay. UVA is the longest wavelength, and it actually can penetrate the dermis. I'm just giving you a little science background. I'm not going to go into too much scientific terminology. I'm going to try to keep it in layman's terms as much as I can, but I really want you to understand this. So UVA, like I said, has the longest wavelengths, which means it can actually penetrate through the dermis. So you have three major layers of the skin. Okay, your epidermis, which is the top skin, and then your dermis, and then hypodermis, or what we call the subcutaneous tissue, the fat. Okay, so UVA, a lot of people do not quote unquote worry about. It's the UVB, which are the shorter wavelengths, which only penetrates the epidermis, and this is where you get the sun tanning or the sunburn. Okay, a lot of people focus more on that, and going into medications or treatments or lotions that can actually prevent this. Before years ago, they would just focus on the UVB rays. Okay, let's go to UVC.
So wait, quick question before we get to C. So even though we're mainly concerned about UVB and sunburn, things like that, are you saying that the UVA rays are the ones that we should truly be concerned about? And I guess maybe not more so than UVB, but that can cause more damage?
No, we need to focus on both, okay? Because accumulation of UVA is what's causing the skin cancer. Okay, so that is the problem. So it's a combination of both. Science has now realized this. Before UVB. With the science, there are many peer-reviewed literature on this. UVA is definitely causing it. So even if you look at, and this is something we'll go further into. If we're looking at, let's say, sunscreen. Okay, before it used to be you would see the wording on it stating for UVB. Now the dermatologists are even recommending that use broad spectrum because it's covering UVA and UVB. Okay, which is what we need, and of course the SPF, which we'll discuss as well. So we need to focus on UVA and B, because actually 95% of UV radiation is UVA.
Wow. So I have a question about that. Maybe you're going to go into this later, or maybe I'm taking us off topic. But so you say that the UVA accounts for the cancer. Then is that something that is like cumulative over time that takes a while to build up, or maybe it depends on which cancer? Something I've heard, and maybe you can correct it or expand upon it if it's accurate, is a lot of, some of the cancers like melanoma and different things are caused by like sunburns as a child, like the buildup when you were a child. And so not that, I mean, obviously we want to protect our skin now as an adult, but so is that something like the UVA things like take time to build up to create that cancer? Okay.
Yes. So UVA is definitely accumulation over time.
Okay.
Okay. So, and you're correct. So UVB, that's where you get the melanoma, which is the most, common. Yes. So it's the time of, it's over time of that sun exposure, because of course, the longer you're staying in the sun, the more exposure you're going to get. And, where it's eventually seeping in. So this is the reason why we're focused on UVA as well. Okay.
All right. And you said that there was one more, UVC.
UVC. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this comes from the radiation of the sun, and we don't really worry about it because it doesn't hit the Earth's surface. Okay. So really it's not a problem for humans as far as staying outside and being exposed, but where we use a lot of UVC is for lamps and lasers for like our disinfection and stuff, or any type of lasers, even if you're playing laser stuff. So if you ever notice where they say do not look into it because it can go, it can affect your eyes and stuff. Yes. So that's where the UVC a lot of times. So even in the hospital setting, we would see we would use it for disinfection. And let's say we have sterile, we're doing what do you call it? I'm trying to remember. UVC disinfection for patients' rooms. We have to set up that machine and then actually leave the area because it can affect us that way.
This is why I get upset at the Dunkin' Donuts drive-through when they want to try to scan my code like from way out, and I haven't given them my phone yet. My phone is like right here by my face. Like that's a whole red. We won't talk about the fact that I'm at the Dunkin' Donuts.
And you know what?
Why are you even there, my friend?
You're absolutely correct. But when I get to Dunkin' Donuts, I'm so focused on that bagel and that coffee that I don't even think about that. I mean, yeah. Oh, thanks, sis. Yeah. I need to start thinking about that instead of my belly.
Yes. Can we think about our eyes? And
yes.
Correct.
And then they get like all upset in their feelings, like I'm, speaking out of some sort of ridiculous point of view. Like, no, that's a real thing. Take the phone, please. Or let me get it closer to you. I digress. All right. So.
Oh, dang. Okay. Things that make you go,
Exactly. Healthy chicks. Healthy chicks always give you simple life hacks. Another thing. Just saying. Get your coffee. Don't get the IRA. Just saying.
And actually the third thing that your sister mentioned, Ayana, was diet. So, we could kind of,
I wonder.
Just saying.
Listen, again, like I said, we're just going to step over the fact that I'm at the Dunkin' Donuts. We're just going to pass that. But there may have been a few things that we've said in our show many, many times before about diet and stress. I wonder where you could have heard things like that. If you don't know what we're talking about, you are seriously behind on your episode. So you got some catching up to do.
I have to say, Sharon, one of the things that really stood out to me, actually, when you started it with the extrinsic versus intrinsic, and the majority of them are extrinsic. And I think it's interesting because a lot of people will say, like, oh, your skin looks great or whatever, like, oh, you must have good genes. And it's just interesting. You say 20% of it includes that genetics factor. So it really has more to do with how you treat your skin and what you do and what your actions are and where you live and all of that, the environment.
Even your skincare, even your daily skincare.
Yeah.
Correct.
Thank you.
Yes.
We're out there like, no, it's all in your genes. No, not necessarily.
No, it's for Ayana, it's vanity.
Yeah. I'm not one to deny that. I'm just saying. It is what it is. That means I work hard at it. So yes, I will accept that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Doc. Appreciate that. I'm just saying, I'm here to speak truth.
Yeah.
All right. So as far as being genetically determined, we've already agreed that that's like 20% of skin aging. What about that? Like, I mean, does that lead to all types of things such as like acne and rosacea?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So eczema. Eczema, you know, so yeah, that's all the intrinsic factors. So how do you, for example, you know, with my eczema, unfortunately, you know, it itches. Okay. So how do I prevent from, first of all, getting flare-ups? And if I do have a flare up, how do I manage it and also prevent from irritating it more, because that'll break down my skin. The consistent scratching will break down my skin, which is exposing me to a plethora of things because I'm breaking that barrier. Right. So yes, so the intrinsic factor is that rosacea, that eczema, that acne, which you have to, you know, try to keep under control. Number one, and this is all, you know, working with your dermatologist, you know, have a tight relationship, have them on speed dial, which I do. If they say they can't get me in a day I need to come, I am raising hell. Okay. So, because I said, if I need you, trust me. So
I cannot picture that at all.
Yeah. You know, I'm going to always remain professional. In a, you know, raise hell in a professional manner.
Yes, I've been the.
Oh, that's another episode. I like that topic.
Season 3. Yeah, I think that's a great topic.
Yes.
All right, so we're gonna wrap up shortly to go into our next segment. But I just want to say, like, speaking about eczema, because I do have it as well, but thankfully, I have it very lightly. I think as I get older, I'm starting to experience it more and more. But the sun, I feel like the sun makes it worse for me, at least. Is there anything to that, or is it all in my head?
Yes, because this is the reason why I said I might get my flare-ups. It's during the summertime. It's the heat, you know, the sun, the heat, you know, the sweat, all of that, all of that triggers it.
Irritation.
You know, because you know when you sweat, what is coming out of, what are you excreting?
Right. Sweat.
You know, sodium stuff. So therefore, it's irritating. It's an irritant. Yep. So yes, so this is the reason why I try not to stay outside too much, you know. And if I have to go outside, you know, for example, you know, Ayana came to California and dragged me to the beach.
Do you hear that? Do you
live in California and you don't go to the beach? Okay, this is a whole nother topic. That obviously,
a lot of people say that, you know, the beach is overrated. I can't take all the sand and stuff.
For people who live here and take it for granted.
Yeah, it's overrated. You know, but anywho, you know, so therefore I have to make sure that my skin is protected. Because I try not to use the prescribed topical ointments. So, you know, because I try to use other preventative measures to control that. So very rare I have to actually use medication because of, you know, I try to be cognizant of what I'm putting in my body, also drinking that water and all of that stuff. And try to keep the stress as minimal as possible. Because if I am seriously stressed, like at work, I will get flare-ups.
Yeah. All right. So when we come back, we will talk about how to protect the skin as well as, and we'll, you know, of course, we're going to give you a ton of tips because that's what we do, right? And we'll also talk about pampering and prep, which obviously is Jenny's favorite topic. So, you know, we're going to have some fun with it. So thank you for listening to Two Healthy Chicks. We will see you in the next segment.
Hello and welcome back, and thanks again for tuning in to SM Enlightenment Radio or TV or the Two Healthy Chicks podcast. I'm Jenny.
And I'm Ayana.
And we are Two Healthy Chicks, and we are talking with Sharon Davila about summer skin, and we are chatting now about protecting our skin.
Yes. So best ways to protect the skin. I've heard that the time to avoid the sun, like if you're going sunning, tanning, however you want to call it, if you're going to the beach in California, like I would expect most people would, that you should avoid 10 to 2.
Yeah, that's about right, because that's when the sun is at its peak. I mean, even some places like out here, even to 4 o'clock, because the sun is still high. It's still hot out there. So it all depends on, your geographical location. So, yeah.
So I guess that's like one of the perks of the Northeast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, correct.
Be outside longer. Well,
we would be freezing, but we
right. Which brings me to the next thing I was going to say, just layer on the clothes. But so actually covering the skin using clothing and sunscreen as a form of protecting your skin. And I'll just mention the clothing I thought was really interesting because you talk about like locationally, and it is interesting because it depends on what you're used to and what your norm is. But growing up on the East Coast, and then I moved to Arizona, so more the West Coast, not exactly the coast, but definitely sunland out there. And right after college, and I was teaching, and I had students that had the hats with the long cover over their neck and the long sleeves. And it was a new thing to me because I wasn't used to such extreme measures for protecting your skin. But being in Arizona with the heat, the sun, sun's rays there that we were just discussing, it was just a really interesting thing to me to see that. And I learned a lot just from experiencing that.
Yeah, and I even still see some people in sackcloth.
Yes, I would love to see that actually. Sharon wearing a sackcloth.
Yeah, so
I think I might actually sell tickets for
that. So definitely clothing. Again, sunscreen, like I mentioned earlier. You definitely want to use the broad spectrum sunscreen with SPF with a minimum of 15. Now, please note that these numbers are not the time of exposure in the sun, is the amount. That's what the numbers mean, the amount of sun exposure. Okay, so definitely if you're fairer skin, you want to use a higher SPF. Okay, that's, if everyone knows that SPF stands for sun protection factor. So we want to make sure that we're using a higher. So on my face, on my actual face, I use 50 because, I use 50 because I had some darkening on my face, and dermatologist back on the East Coast had asked me, this is before we had our ear pods and everything. Mm-hmm. And I was wondering why just this side of my face was getting so dark. And he stated, do you hold your cell phone to your face a lot? Oh, so I looked at him like, yeah, why? He said, it's the radiation from that phone that caused it. And it was just getting darker and darker. And he didn't share with me that you need to use some sunscreen, you know what I'm saying, before going out in the sun, because it's just going to make it darker. That's what the sun does, So started getting lighter. Of course, I had to use some other lightening creams to try to lighten it and whatnot, but definitely. So I use 50 to protect my face. I don't use it on the rest, such a high one for the rest of my body, but my face, yes. I personally do. Now, like I said, it doesn't mean that this is what everyone should be doing. You definitely should be consulting with your physician, especially if you have any type of skin issues. So definitely.
So question, because the tube, the bottle, whatever it is, it usually says apply 15 to 20 minutes before sun exposure. And I always wondered what that was about. Is it simply about the time that it takes to absorb into your skin? Like, what is that? Because, we also hear that it only takes 20 seconds for, 60% of what you put on your body to absorb into your skin. So that's a huge difference. Is that the reason?
Well, from my understanding and from, the research, and even just speaking with my dermatologist, I've been told like 30 minutes before.
Wow.
Is it because it's a thicker
Yeah,
product?
so I guess also depends on what you're actually using, because if you're using a cream, creams are thicker than lotion, so I guess it also depends. I'm not too definitely sure, but I've always heard that magic number of at least 15 minutes prior to going outside you should be applying.
I would imagine like the mineral sunscreens may take a little bit longer.
Yeah,
it's a
so
much thicker product.
We want to make sure that we're creating that barrier prior to getting out there. Yeah.
Got it. And we all know reapplying every 2 hours.
Yes.
And in and out the water.
Yes, and there's no, because there are some of these brands saying it's waterproof. No such thing. It washes off. Okay, it washes off. So therefore, and it's even if you're sweating, you should use it more than every 2 hours if you perspire a lot. So.
Go ahead, Jenny.
Oh, what I was just gonna say, I will also add the other thing to be mindful of is that, like, so you apply before you go, and then when we go spend the week at the beach, like we apply all the stuff, and then I'm carrying the bag, like, the half mile, whatever, the couple blocks down to the beach and stuff. So then I just rubbed off my sunscreen on, like, so that strap, and then your flip flops too. So like, and then you take them off at the beach, and so just be mindful of that too when you might like rub off your mineral sunscreen that is actually physically on your skin, that you can just get rid of that. So you need to reapply that once you get to the beach too, or pool or wherever you're going.
That's a really good point. I would also point out those sunscreens that are saying waterproof, just like you mentioned, it's not really a thing, but for it to be waterproof, that usually means additional chemicals. So
yeah, that's true too.
Watch your labels.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, and actually, Jenny, you bring up a good point, because usually I forget, other than my moisturizer, because our moisturizer has the SPF, so face is always protected, always. It's not just the jeans, people, just saying. I usually forget to put on my sunscreen until I get to where I'm going, but I will sit in a shaded area. And once I get there, I put it on, I sit on a shaded area, at least 15 to 20. Now I may even consider 30, maybe I'll read a book, but that probably is the better way to do it. Because then, just like you said, you're not rubbing your sunscreen off and having to reapply certain places. I never even thought of that. So that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Really good point.
Well, and, it just made me think too, like, okay, 15 to 30 minutes. So then there's a situation that we were in today. We drove an hour to the beach. And so like, I'm not going to apply before we go. It's going to be all over the, all over the car before we get there. So it's kind of like that catch-22. So
goodness, we literally just had this back and forth the other day. It's like, you should have done this already. And we had at least a 2.5 hour drive, according to you. Why would I do it then?
Right.
Makes no sense.
Yeah.
So I digress.
Making sure you're doing it. So yeah. Okay. So let me ask you a question then about tanning beds, because I am not one of the people that has ever used a tanning bed, gone tanning, whatever. But from what I hear, people will be like, oh, I want to get my base tan, or oh, it's better to do this first before I go in the sun, go to the pool, go to the beach, or whatever. So what is your take on that? What is your take? Are they safe? Are they not? What do you think?
Tanning beds are emitting UVA rays.
Exactly what we're supposed to be avoiding.
What we're supposed to be avoiding.
Those are. Those are the cancer ones.
Just a reminder, in case you missed the first segment.
Wow.
Yes. And some people feel it's safer than, because the medical field, we use phototherapy. But the thing is, what we fail to realize is that when we're using phototherapy, it is usually for to actually address a medical condition. Let's say, whether it's psoriasis or even, I don't know if you heard of hyperbilirubinemia, which is the high bilirubin in babies. We use phototherapy for that because the babies are jaundiced. But the thing is, it's monitored. Okay, it's monitored. It's for a certain period of time. It's not an ongoing thing. So remember that UVA, that's causing that skin cancer, is accumulation over time, and a lot of individuals that do tan, they're doing it on a pretty regular basis.
From what I hear.
They want it,
They have
to kind
memberships.
of have this
They have
glow.
I knew she was not going to be able to resist that one.
Yeah.
Jenny, I will give you a round of applause because you've never been tanning, so kudos to you.
Thank you.
But you didn't even know that you were protecting yourself as much.
Yeah,
as
I know. I work hard for this super white skin, okay? No tanny beds.
No, it's highly discouraged. Highly discouraged. So they'll say, but we're protecting you from this, that, the, it's highly discouraged. It really
Interesting. That's really, really fascinating to hear because that almost, well, I don't know if I should say it that strongly, but that's horrible.
Go for it.
That those are, it just seems criminal. Like, like if they're emitting UVA rays, like, how is that okay to have that be allowed to go?
No, Jenny, you're expecting too much. It's the same reason why carrageenan is allowed in our products.
Yes. Okay, we're getting.
You know where I'm going. So
we knew we were going there.
You have some episodes to catch up on. I'll just keep doing it. Go ahead.
Yes. Okay. So next question. I have another question for you. So then. And you've mentioned your makeup, and you mentioned with it, maybe it's not in your makeup, but the 50 that you wear every day on your face. But that is actually one of the reasons why I do my makeup every day, and it's very, very light, but it has that added SPF protection. So I don't go out of the house without that SPF protection, no matter where I'm going. Then if I'm going to the beach or the pool, I will put more on because I'm in full exposure. So what about that, like skincare and makeup that has pollution defense SPF?
I don't see why not. I mean, it's giving you that added protection, added layer. So I don't see why not, So we would definitely want to try to use whether it's makeup or skincare that has SPF, pollution, defense, we definitely would try to use those types, especially like I said, if you want to go out a lot, and did you lose me? Okay. Go out a lot and, go into the sun and everything. Mm-hmm. So therefore, definitely, I would say that's fine. I don't see why we couldn't, why you shouldn't be able to do that. So
talking about protecting the skin, another way is I've heard feed the skin, which essentially is eating well. That's what we talk about here. So what is there validity to that? Like, can you actually feed your skin, even though we know the answer? Go for it.
What you put in your body, bottom line, is key. Okay. Because, you can do all these topical regimens, and you're putting all the toxins inside of your body.
Yep.
You're defeating the purpose, and we're all guilty. Yeah. I mean, I'm not a size 6, very easily. I work to be a size 6.
I can't.
Okay.
This is what I have to
do. But the thing about it is,
I'm not sure if I came out here for the comedy or for the
So, the thing is, it's all depending on what you put in your body. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that's down for your hair, your nails, your skin, everything, seriously, that's what are you putting in your body? Absolutely. Are you taking your, your needed vitamins, we can go back to, how dermatologists say not so much dermatologists, your family physician would say your vitamin D levels are low. Okay. They'll say your vitamin D levels are low because I've been told this. Get out in the sun. But then the thing is, with all the science and all the, vitamins and stuff, we can't find something else because then, you need that. You're saying, yes, UV rays do help. And especially UVA. If I don't want to mess it up. UVA is what can actually convert it to that vitamin D. Okay. The protein to vitamin D. Yep. So the thing about it is you need it, but too much of anything is no good. Do you get what I'm saying? Yes. So, when he said get out in the sun, I'm like, okay, I can be out in the sun for a little bit if I'm going to the mall or going shopping, I'm in and out, but give me my vitamin D supplement as well. And I was fine. Yeah. So, and that's a misconception that, especially are more melanated individuals feel. Well, the doctor tells me to or is given, I should say, the misinformation. The doctor says go out there and get some sun because my vitamin D is low. But then they don't think they need any type of protection from that sun at the same time.
And
so it's a balance.
Given that information many times.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a balance.
Yeah.
And
I've heard too, like they'll say like maybe 15 minutes in the morning, that you don't have sunscreen on, and the sun's rays aren't as strong, so that you are helping to get that vitamin D. But then there are the camp like, well, any exposure to the sun is not good as far as the potential UVA, UVB. So it is that balance. I agree.
Yeah, it really is. And, I don't even want to say that is okay. I really don't want to say that is okay, but I see where you're coming from, because in a way, because we already stated that, those hours, peak hours, are like 10 to 4, depending on where you are. So early in the morning when the sun is coming up. But the thing about it is, it depends on where you're facing as well, because even when the sun is coming up, that sun could be beaming on you. So, it's hit or miss, you just have, like I said, too much of anything is no good for you. Correct.
So the last way to protect your skin, we talked about feeding the skin. I mean, it kind of goes hand in hand, so we don't have to spend much time on it, but drinking plenty. You're hydrating your body, but you're also hydrating
drinking
your
what,
skin.
Alcohol?
Well, no, probably not, because, again, if you paid attention to one of our last episodes, you see how I'm plugging this, people? I'm just saying. One of our last episodes, we talked about how alcohol dehydrates. So make sure you catch that one. But no, not alcohol, Sharon.
Water.
Ayana did share her routine of, it's like a round of water and then a round of alcohol, and then you just kind of layer them like that. So
thank you. Yeah. Someone was listening. If you're gonna do it right. That's not cute.
Yes, but definitely you wanna hydrate. You definitely want to hydrate. Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. And keep that skin very clear. Absolutely.
So let's jump in. Last topic, we talked about pretty much everything you need to know about, like the things that can damage your skin, how to protect your skin, pampering and prep. Jane's favorite topic. So dive in.
Yes, pampering. So let's talk about pedicures, salt scrubs. What do you think?
I'm for it. I do it.
I think if she could get a salt scrub like at least once or twice
yes,
a week, I know I would go for it.
I got to keep the skin soft and smooth and husband ready.
Yes. So,
that is an accurate statement. It just, it hits different when it's your sister.
That is awesome. All right. So then going on with the whole tanning, says that you took out the tanning beds. So those of us with lacking pigmentation, maybe a self-tanner would be a better option than doing the tanning beds. So
you mean like the sprays?
No, just like a cream.
The ones that rub on.
I'm not too familiar with them, because I personally have never really looked at it, or so I really don't know. But you may just want to watch your ingredients.
Yes,
definitely. You definitely want to watch your ingredients.
You self tanner, Sharon?
Really?
No, this is not natural glow.
Love it. And then body oil, body lotions, body butter, all of those are great things to be able to keep your skin hydrated, as well as
moisturize. Yes.
Water. Yes. And again, of course, checking the ingredients and making sure that those are, very good. And then foundation, like that is something that just that regular protection, doing and getting into the routine of doing that for your skin every day as well. Just treat your skin
like the name says, foundation. Correct.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah. Well, I think that we have given quite a bit of information.
I just want to say one more thing. This is for our Black and brown viewers. Please, please, please. Sunscreen is for everyone. Yes. Everyone needs to protect themselves. That's a huge misconception that it's a white skin problem. No, we do not have our numbers of skin cancer is not as high as our Caucasian counterparts, but it does happen.
Yeah.
So we can actually prevent this, and it doesn't matter what color our skin is. We need to be protecting our skin at all times. So sunscreen is for everyone. Okay.
It's so serious, and it's such a real thing, because I can't tell you how many times I've had a conversation where people are like, no, I don't have sunscreen. What do I need sunscreen for? Because you have skin. So
yes,
there's that.
Exactly. You want to keep the skin, right? So let's keep that conversation going. We have a Facebook group that you can come, and you might have questions. You might have concerns. You might have like, well, this is different than what I've heard, or just, just want to learn more about it. Come visit us in our Facebook group. So it is 2 Healthy Chicks. So the number 2, 2 Healthy Chicks. So check us out on Facebook and join the conversation.
Yes. And it's because, we don't have our theme music yet. So manually, APOD.
APOD. So our APOD today is our Arbonne Gelée. So this stuff is amazing. It is a cooling, hydrating gel that is so amazing. I'll never forget the first time I ever used this. I put it on my arm, and I was sitting in my house, and a breeze came through, and I could feel the places on my arm where I put it. Like I didn't like slather all the way down my arm, and I was like, woo, I feel the coolness. Like it is like amazing.
Jenny got a little excited from the APOD.
Hey, this stuff is great. And so it's just, just cooling is great to use like after a workout. If you get a sunburn, like if you didn't follow any of the instructions that we just shared, that Sharon so wonderfully shared for us. If you missed all of that and got yourself a sunburn, use it to be able to cool down, and it just feels so good. All skin types, all body types. You can use it it's detoxing for your skin. It's a very light hydration. So it features some really cool features. It has pure orange, lavender, grapefruit, and tangerine essential oils. Promotes a sense of calm and relaxation. So think spa-like. Sustainably sourced shea butter moisturizes and softens the skin. It has caffeine with antioxidant properties that help brighten the skin's appearance. So we were talking about brightness. Sharon has that glow. So what do you do to brighten your skin? So it's got green algae. It's got vitamin E, malachite extract, dandelion extract, turmeric extract, ginger root extract. Guys, we talked about ingredients, like check your ingredients list. Check that ingredient list. Like, enough said.
It's all beneficial. And I am happy to say that I have effectively Arbonized Sharon, because she has experienced the gelée.
Do tell.
Yes, I did. We
got her.
Yes, we came from the beach, and I was protected, but I still wanted to. After I came home and had my shower, I said, okay, let me try this. So I'm like, oh gosh. And I'm like, oh, this feels good. But my telltale sign is the next morning, because my skin is quite sensitive. So I'll break out from anything that does not agree with me. Next morning, I was still fine, and my skin was still smooth, and it's nice. So Ayana's gonna buy me my first 3 bottles.
Look at her.
I'm not really sure where. Like, no. And that's how I feel. Like, I feel like I'm being pimped out at my sister's house. If it's not my sister, it's my brother-in-law talking about, oh, you're leaving the coconut body.
She missed my birthday gift this year. So
there you go. That'll make up for it.
So, anyway.
And apparently we're giving gifts out for guests, so that'll be there you go.
Co-sign the foolishness, Jenny. Do not co-sign.
Yes, this is so fun. What other trouble can we get into, Sharon?
No, on that note, we're going to move on to the random facts. So
okay. So along with the beach, keeping the beach theme. So when I go to the beach, I love to be active. Like, I'm not one of those people just lay on a towel and just give me a game to do. Like, I have brothers, as you know, so like we're always playing paddleball, football, like just jumping in the waves, you name it. Like, I'm not the one that's just gonna like, oh, let me just sit, don't get any sand on me. That's my beach style.
So I'll keep mine beach related as well. I love the beach, but because I love to swim. So I was a little disappointed, maybe more so than a little, but I thought coming out to California that I was just going to be able to frolic in the water for as long as possible.
You didn't take your wetsuit?
Clearly, I should have, because I got maybe to my no, not even my thighs, my calves, and I was like, no, yeah, Ayana's done, because Ayana will be in the emergency room. You all know sickle cell, cold water do not mix. So very disappointed, but yes, usually, I have to go swimming in the tropics, I guess. So there's that.
There you go.
I have to swim and then lay. I am the person that likes to lay, but I'm not
Okay.
afraid of the sand. So there's that.
There you go.
So Sharon, I really want to thank you for agreeing to be our guest on the show. The information was phenomenal. So very thankful. I mean, I do love you also, but you just really get on my nerves sometimes. But thank you.
This has
Thank
been
you for
so
having me.
much
Thank you for
fun.
having me.
Oh my gosh, Sharon, thank you so much for coming. This has been a blast. Like, yes, the information is phenomenal, and I'm so grateful for that. But this has been so fun to have you two together on the show. Like,
I'm glad it was entertaining for you, Jenny. I'm so glad. It's going to not be so fun for me as soon as we hit end.
Please come back, Sharon. Please come back.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. This was really great.
She gave all her information. We're done. I'm just joking. We'd love to have you back.
That's so awesome. With that, thank you everyone for listening tonight or today or whatever it is for you. We are Two Healthy Chicks on SM Enlightenment Radio and TV, or Two Healthy Chicks podcast. Have a great day.